What is going on, you guys? Bashtian, why you here? And today we're going to be looking at the top rogue decks that you guys are going to be expecting to see at this week's Nationals coming up in July 16th, 15th for the LCQ, the last chance qualifiers, and then I believe it's going to be Saturday and Sunday for the actual main event. So if you guys do not have your invite, you're not completely out of luck, and you do still have that chance to go ahead and secure that invite by competing in the LCQ. But that's not what we're here for, essentially. So what we're here for is to learn about some rogue decks that you are going to be seeing at the Nationals. So rogue decks, I'm not talking about, Eldritch. Eldritch is not a rogue deck. It is a tier 2 deck, tier 1.5, tier 2 deck. I want to say tier 2 more than anything, just because it just plays. It's just a deck of floodgates. That's all it is. It's it's just a deck of floodgates. So it's absolutely just ridiculous. So we're not gonna talk about that. We're not going to talk about Tri Brigade, although I would technically put that as rogue and something that you might be able to see because it is extremely budget friendly. But rogue, I'm talking about Marincess. I'm talking about Cybers. I'm talking about those type of decks. So number one, of course, is going to be the Marincess strategy. The Marincess strategy is a more of a newer, not new as we've had Marincess for a while, but we just got some fantastic support in the Mako Tsunami, whatever, Duels from the Deep pack recently, about 2-3 weeks ago, whenever we got that one. So we just got some new support from Marincess, actually really good support. Now, in order to combat this, really all we gotta do is just prevent the Marincess player from spamming out a whole bunch of monsters. Cards like Summon Limit, cards like Artifact Scythe are going to completely shut down this deck. Drone Lockbird does a little bit as well. You can Nibiru just crap at home. So just be aware of your rogue matchups. Make sure that you main and side accordingly. A lot of people have been steering away from Nibiru in the past few months, but I might recommend you actually start main decking the Nibiru, at least maybe 2 copies of Nibiru in the main deck if you don't have space for 3, just essentially because this is something that will come up quite a bit, even in your meta matchups against like decks like Sword Soul. Stop respecting Nibiru like it should. So just be aware of that. Also, Marincess can creep up on you if you let it. And if you let it go first, just go ahead and be ready with your Dark Allure No Mores, and you should be good to go from there. Also, if you can get rid of the Feel spell, that would go a long way. Which you are also going to be citing cards against Mystic Mine already. If you guys did not see that video, how to deal with Mystic Mine, how to deal with Artifact Scythe, go ahead and check that out. I should leave a card right here somewhere. So you should already be citing, if not main decking for that, so you guys should be prepared, but just want to make sure I re-emphasize that Marincess will be around and you guys need to be prepared. One of the other rogue strategies that we are going to be seeing as well, guys, is going to be the Cybers strategy in the form of Adagnister. So Adagnister is not necessarily going to be blowing any socks out the water. The deck itself is what I would call slightly mediocre at best, but who has one boss monster that is just absolutely ridiculous, can be unaffected anything, and it can be made with 6,000 attack points, which is far beyond what any other deck can really do at this current time, unless you have that Sword Soul that gains attack based on the amount of banished monsters. You activate 2 Part of Desires and you make that, and you should, might be able to get over that point as well. Again, you already should be considering siding the Dark Allure No More, so make sure that's ready as well. We already spoke about Nibiru, but something you may also want to take into consideration is cards like Kaijus. Kaijus actually not only obliterate whatever the Cybers Adagnister play is trying to do, but they also combat Marincess quite well as well. So again, you are not going to be seeing this as prevalent in later rounds, I would say, but in the early rounds it is good to always just stay prepared for these type of matchups, guys. Another rogue deck that I would consider just being aware of and just knowing your matchups as well when testing. So when testing, you gotta make sure you don't just test against meta decks, because then when you see a rogue deck, that one person playing Earth Machine or that one person who's playing Moki Turbo, you're gonna get slapped up, and the last thing you want to do is go back to your group of friends and say you lost to Moki Turbo, okay? But Earth Machine is another fantastic deck that is going to be coming up as well, so definitely be aware of that. that. I wouldn't necessarily put it as a rogue matchup. I think we all know what that deck can really do when it gets going, so just be aware of that as well. But I do want to focus on Salamangreat for a little bit. So Salamangreat is an extremely resilient deck that can play through quite a bit of hand traps, and essentially you are going to have to take a few risks when playing against this deck as far as what to hit, what not to hit. Its overall consistency is something that made it the best, one of the best decks of the format, if not the best deck of the format, just maybe a year, 2 years ago when it was really at its peak. So just be aware of Salamangreat. The latest, most Forbidden Limited list gave it quite a bit of power, so some of you guys are aware of that as well. Also, Dragon Link. Dragon Link's not rogue. It's not rogue at all, so don't include that as part of this list. But what I'm trying to say is that Dragon Link is a deck you guys should be preparing for. So what does Dragon Link do? It link summon, right? So a lot of you guys might be considering playing the Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, and it would be fantastic to play this card. That almost sound like a Cali effect pun. It would be fantastic to play Fantastical Dragon Phantasme against all the decks I just mentioned, actually. So the Adagnister, the Marincess, and the Dragon Link, and the other one I was just talking about, Salamangreat. So again, plan accordingly. If you already know your deck is really good against the meta decks, then you can afford to spend some of your side deck on the roguish strategies that you need to be prepared for as well. Drone Lockbird is phenomenal against all these decks as well. So again, Nibiru is again really good against all these decks as well. So just know your matchups, be prepared, and do not test against only the meta matchups. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. So be prepared, know your matchups, and overall, quick recap. We've gone over Marincess, we've gone over, I've touched on Eldritch, I've touched on Salamangreat, I've touched on Earth Machine, so be aware of that one as well. I'm missing one, Adagnister. So, as long as you guys are aware of these matchups, you guys should be good to go. If there's any other rogue decks that you guys know that you guys should be aware of, again, let the community know in the comments section down below. I am not a genie. I didn't come from a lamp, so I'm not going to know each and every single factor of this game. But if you guys happen to think of a rogue deck that will be rampant all over the Nationals, again, let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys like these videos, go ahead and leave a like on the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.